funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland with the television licence fee.
You're listening to Prog.4, the 5-part series There Is Life After Addiction. Throughout our modern Ireland, many people and groups are doing Trojan work to help people recover from addiction, whether it be drugs or drink or whatever, and live addiction-free lives. One such group is the Cenocolo Community based in Knock, County Mayo. To explain the Cenocolo Community's roots and work, here's Davide Barboli, who himself successfully recovered from drug addiction in his native Italy in the 1990s, and who then went on to help establish the Cenocolo House in Knock, County Mayo from 1999 onwards.
The roots of Community Cenocolo came from a sister, Sister Elvira Petrozzi, that many years ago she was a daughter of charity sister. She had a desire to help the poor. So we can say the Holy Spirit led a desire in her heart to open a place to give a chance for people that were struggling in life. So in 1983, after 7 years of waiting for a Mother Superior in her own order, Mother Elvira started in Italy the Community Cenocolo. The first people that arrived were people suffering from addiction. In 1999, we opened the project in Ireland. I was part of the first group to found the community in Knock. There was a group of 7 of us from all over Europe. We started the community, we opened the door, and the first Irish boys start to arrive, led by priests, led by family, and we welcome them, we listen to them, we try to understand what can we do to help them, and we open the community, and it's running for the last 17 years, very successfully in Ireland.
Davide, how is the community actually run on a day-to-day basis here in the west of Ireland?
Normally all the community have 2 men responsible. So these are men that came from addiction, recover, and they donate some time of their life back to the community. In Ireland there's 2 boys in charge. At the moment there is an English and an Irish man. The running of the day is very simple. The boys get up in the morning at 6. They lead themselves to the chapel where they pray the joyful mystery of the Rosary. After that they take a piece of the scriptures of the day. They read it out. And who is in charge to do the reading will do some sharing. After that there is breakfast, and after that the people go to work. They work from, say, 8 o'clock in the morning to 12. We have a break. There is lunch that is cooked from one of the members. After lunch at 1:30 they go back to work. They pray the sorrowful mystery during work, and we work normally until 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m. We close the working day by walking the Rosary in the lovely countryside here in Knock. So we pray the glorious mystery. We come back to the main house, we wash ourselves, and we prepare ourselves for the supper. Supper and lunchtime are great moment of fellowship, where the boys maybe are working in different area of the farm, and they meet at the table, and so there is a lot of joyful moment, laugh, and also a moment of family. That's what it is all about. And after that is the washing up, the cleaning. We finish our day with some prayer again. It's the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and there is a bit of time of sharing. And by 9:30, I tell you, Paul, all the men are in bed because it's a long day of working, and you get up very early in the morning. So it's very healthy, very healthy.
The daily life of all members in the Cenocolo community is based on 3 pillars: prayer, friendship and work. So what exactly might a typical Cenocolo work day entail? Davide Barboli.
The work normally in all the community Cenocolo, we have 70 houses, nearly 70 houses all over the world. They're farm. We're running farm. So like we bring the city boys from Dublin or anyone that comes from city back to the rural life. So we run farm. We have building work going on. There's a farm to be run. There is vegetable garden to be worked, to get the fruits from the soil. And in top of that is cooking, cleaning, making beds, welcoming people when they come and visit the community, and these are physical work. We do physical work. We don't have tractors. We don't have machinery. We just use shovels, and our hands. So the physical work will be very important. And Mother Elvira, the founder of the community Cenocolo, taught me and taught many other thousands of young men and young women that came to the community Cenocolo. When we were in addiction, we never worked. We used to sell drugs, we used to feed our addiction with crime. In community Cenocolo, we learn how to work. How to work is the quality of the work, and at the end of the week, there's no paycheck. Your paycheck is your well-being.
One of the people who was instrumental in helping to bring the Cenocolo community to Ireland in the 1990s was Father Adrian Crowley.
I'm a priest of the Dublin Diocese, and I have been a friend of the Cenocolo community for the last 15, 16 years now, and I'm delighted and so impressed to see such miracles happening in young people's lives that they can become free from addiction. And it's a wonderful thing, and it's a real answer to our society's needs, because so many of our young people now, they're really suffering so badly. You know, even a youngster is saying to me, I've suicidal thoughts, I'm despairing, I don't see any hope. There is hope, and I'd love to get that message to young people. There is every hope, and there's a place for you, you know.
Father Adrian, you're coming from a city centre parish background yourself originally. Yeah. Tell our listeners what kind of background and how you got involved, the problems that you saw, and how you went towards the solution, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah, my first parish was Ockram Street in the North Stony Batter area. Beautiful parish and beautiful people. And I did see that at that time in the Devony Gardens there was a lot of young people had there was addiction, and I also some funerals in my parish in that first year, and I used to be praying, Lord, what do we do? What place is there for these people? After that time I met Sister Elvira, an Italian sister who had a community for the addicted, and she came to Ireland and opened a farmhouse in Knock for the young addicted, and since that time there's been every year dozens of young people go through the house, hopefully to find healing and to find a new life. And I love it because it has a real balanced life, like a healthy life of spiritual life, contact with God, working on the farm, true friendship, truthfulness in my life, freedom from all addictions. It produces a wonderful new person, you know. And I had a really funny incident. A young lad came to me years after. He said to me, Father, he said, do you remember me? And I said, no. He says, I'm the guy that used to steal the boxes out of your church in Ockram Street. And he said to me, oh, well, I went into Cenocolo and I stayed for a shortish time, but I never went back on the heroin again, you know. And it's tremendous to see young people married, healthy, living a really good life.
From your own life experience, Father Adrian, and working with people who've travelled the journey from dark to light, who've made the recovery, the successful recovery, what's the worst thing about those dark days of addiction?
Yeah, you know, young people are so innocent and fun-loving, and they'll try something. And most of them now, about 13 years of age, someone is at the school gates or someone somewhere saying, just try this, it'll make you feel great, and all the rest of it. It's almost like there's no sin in it. But the thing that really grieves me is to say it leads them down a path of stealing and self-destruction and ruins relationships, and it destroys their life, and it makes them feel so bad inside, just full of ugliness and awfulness, and they can't bear themselves, and you know. And that's the thing, is the consequences that they just use the bad fruit, you know. And there is a healing. There is a healing, and someone has to open themselves to that healing and say, I want that. I really want that balanced, good life. I can be that way. And there are very inspiring figures, very inspiring people who are shining examples of a tremendous comeback. You know, one of them said to me, his brother said, he says, John, you're the biggest comeback story that ever was, you know.
What's the best thing about recovery from addiction? Just from your own, again, experience, talking, working, living with people who've done the journey.
One of the lads said to me, it took me a year to really, I was numb. I couldn't feel good, nor bad, nor right, nor wrong. But after a year, I began to spring up on my heart again, and then to have love in my heart, to begin to love again, to begin to love my family and heal my relationships and so on. That's beautiful to see. And then to learn the new life of goodness. But one of the things I do notice with the young people who come through the healing in the community, Cenocolo, would be they become a light for other people. They realise I'm not on the planet just for myself, but to help others, to serve others, to reach out to others, to be a truly good father to my children, to be a really good husband, and that's a wonderful thing. They become literally new people.
And one such new person is Damien Richardson, who found recovery from addiction to drugs in the Cenocolo community in Knock, County Mayo in the early 2000s. Damien is now happily married with a family of 10 children. Before he went to Cenocolo in County Mayo, he underwent a detox programme in Dublin. So just how difficult was detox?
It was still probably the worst month of my life coming off the drugs. It was just, very violently sick, violently ill, and, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
How bad is it, Damien? How bad?
Yeah, a lot of people, there's different drugs out there. There's the cocaine that give you highs, and there's the cannabis and that, but the heroin and the methadone, the methadone was created, I believe, is to detox someone off heroin, but it's a lot stronger, and you really need a hospital environment to detox off, because although you want to come off this substance, your body is screaming for it. Every second of the day, you have these violent shakes, your muscles are in spasms, you be vomiting, getting sick, you have diarrhea and cold sweats, and it's like the worst flu you've ever had for a month, and the pain is just excruciating,
But it keeps going on and on and on. It's non-stop.
6 weeks. And I really believe that a lot of people would come off methadone who've been on it 10, 20 years, but the fear of coming off it is just unreal,
Right, absolutely. Okay, Damien, you successfully get your detox. What happens next?
Yeah, I went down to the Cenocolo farm I did down in Mayo.
And here's what Damien had to say about the daily routine in the Cenocolo community.
A day in Cenocolo would be up at 6 in the morning. We go into the chapel for a few prayers. Some lads take to it, some lads don't take to the prayer, but some lads choose it when they come out, some don't. But I really benefit from it, And I see other lads who do choose to pray. You see them getting a bit of peace in their heart, and, they can deal with situations a lot better, So we went to the chapel, we say a few prayers, and we contemplate, we do a bit of sharing how our last few days was. Maybe there's a situation going on with some of the lads in the house, so it's that would be our first period in the morning. We come out, then we get breakfast. One of the lads, we take turns, and it gets up an hour early at 5 every morning, and he'll have the breakfast made for us. We all take that in turn every few weeks, Then we get work clothes on, we go out to the farm. We always work in pairs. 2 lads will be allocated working with maybe the animals. Another 2 lads will be working in the garden. Like, we produce a lot of organic food, and that's a big gift to see the fruits of our labour. 2 lads will be on house duty, keeping the house tidy. 2 lads might be on forestry work. It's in Mayo, so we've a lot of land, we've over 30 acres, so there's a lot of maintenance on the walls around the farms. Another 2 lads might be building walls in the old traditional style,
And as was mentioned earlier, the 3 pillars to the Cenocolo community are first prayer, second work, and third friendship. So what exactly does a Cenocolo friendship entail? Damien Richardson.
The friendship as well, the 3 pillars would be the work, the prayer, the friendship. But it's not patting someone on the back, it's being honest with them, being truthful, saying, listen man, you've a lot of stuff there, you have a lot of anger I've seen you. That's true friendship, that's a Cenocolo friendship. To point out in each other maybe where we're going wrong, maybe stuff that we can't see, and that would be the part of the friendship, It's a great place to come out who we are,
And Damien also found Cenocolo a place to begin trusting in others.
It's very important, it is, to trust people is a big thing. I suppose I didn't trust anybody, because when you're in addiction again, you're buying and selling drugs, people want to rip you off, they just, there's no one in addiction who behaves good, it's all the opposite, So I didn't trust people, so coming to Cenocolo with these fellas, they always want to help me and they're very considerate for me and all, and you know, what's their agenda? But he had no agenda, you know, and that was something that I seen, and you know, that I cherished the friendship. And even today, the lads who have come through the Cenocolo programme, we're very close, we help each other, they're always there on the phone for each other, and you know, it's great to have that. For me, when I seen a guy coming to the meetings, you know, he's very broken, he's negative, he's cursing, he's swearing, he hates himself, he hates everybody else. And they come into our community, and again, you see them doing a bit of work, getting up early. They might be a bit difficult, a bit rebellious for the first few weeks, the first few months. You know, we see them getting a bit of joy in their heart then, you know. And some of our lads, you'd say, even people who say to me, you don't look like you ever took drugs, you don't look like you're ever in prison, you definitely don't look like a methadone addict or a heroin addict. But this what the Cenocolo does for you, really changes, you know, changes the behaviours, you know, that we would have lived for a long time, you know.
Any words of advice to parents out there?
Yeah, it's hard out there in society today, you know, the violence is unreal, you know. I was talking to parents there a few weeks back, drug dealers knocking at the door and intimidation and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that I didn't have to deal with maybe 20 years ago that's going on today, you know. But just sometimes you need a bit of tough love, you know. Let your children know you love them, but you're not going to tolerate this behaviour, you know, and say, listen, if you're taking drugs now, and maybe bring them to somewhere, to a prison maybe, or to a treatment centre. Look, do you want to end up like that, you know? But it's difficult today. I really haven't. It'd be $1 million if I had an answer for you, you know. But the Cenocolo has an answer for you, you know. If there is anyone who's suffering from addiction, we cater for addictions of drugs, alcohol, gambling, sex addiction, weight loss, or just people who's just maybe depressed, maybe lost in life. They can all come into Cenocolo. We have houses around the world, you know. We might start a guy off and knock in Mayo for 6 months. We can transfer them then to Italy or France or Spain. So yeah, it's an amazing organisation, you know, and it's completely free, you know. I'd always say there is hope, you know. I thought that I was going to stay on drugs for the rest of my life, just to die a drug addict, you know. But no, there is hope out there, you know. And if lads don't come into us, to the Cenocolo community, we always say, go somewhere. You know, there's great centres out there, there's great people out there helping people, you know, and do something about it, you know. But if I can do it, I'm the weakest man on the planet. If I can come off heroin and methadone for years and years, anyone can do it, you know. And just, we all need to be encouraged. And I think that, you know, with us addicts, I can't do that because I'm not going to try it. I'm no good at that, I'm not going to try it. I can't do that, you know. But yes, we can. Drug addicts are the most intelligent, most gifted people I know. But we're using their gifts for scheming and scamming, trying to steal, trying to scheme and scam and always. But when we put all our gifts, the sky is the limit, you know. The sky is the limit.
And yourself, I mean, Damien, now you're married, 10 children, no less, am I right?
Yeah, myself and the wife were off drugs. I'm off drugs now 15 years. My wife was off drugs 14 years. She would come from a family of 7 in the north inner city. 6 of our brothers and sisters went on heroin and methadone. The whole family was destroyed. Thankfully, most of them are doing well at the moment. We've blessed with 10 kids. We have 9 of our own. We also have a foster child, you know. So our foster carers. So yeah, it's a big gift. My eldest child is just 19. And we have 9 in the house under 12. So it's just mental, but I wouldn't swap it for the world. Me and the wife, we got a second chance at life, you know. So we really cherish life and the values and in every way. So it's amazing. I'd be scratching my head every day, you know. How did we end up like this? And you just thank God and His Holy Mother for it, you know.
In the whole area of addiction, whether it be addiction to drugs, alcohol, gambling or whatever, it's not just the addict whose life is destroyed. Also families and communities are devastated. Here's one Dublin mother to share her story of how the Cenocolo community helped to save her son from addiction.
Hi, my name is Jean. I'm from Dublin, and I'm a parent of a child who was into addiction.
Now, Jean, what were the issues that you had to deal with in the initial stages of your son's addiction, please? Just tell our listeners.
Well, I was devastated at first because we'd never known anything to do with addiction or drugs. Might have known the odd alcoholic in the family, all right, but this drug thing was quite scary. We went to a few different places with him. He tried a few places, left. We even actually thought we were clever, and we paid counsellors to come to our house, and didn't work. And we were devastated. We didn't know what to do. Things came to a peak, and then it was around Christmas time, and I went and I got in touch with this priest, and he told me about Cenocolo. Now, I had heard about Cenocolo from a cousin of mine that was a teacher in Scotland, in a rough part of Scotland, and he was amazed by it. He had been to Medjugorje and saw this group called Cenocolo, and some of his ex-pupils, would have went to Cenocolo, and he said it was just amazing. And I discovered then, would you believe, that Cenocolo had come to Ireland. I think it was the 8th of December, and by the year...
It's 1999, if I'm correct, or the late 1990s.
99, yeah, but that was 99. But in January, the end of January is when my son entered. And he was the first Irish boy in the house. And thanks be to God, because we just were at our wits' end at this stage.
And Jean, your son, he enters Cenocolo. How did the process work, so to speak, for yourself, just on the ground in those heady days when it was happening?
Yeah, well, at first when I heard about it, it was like somebody saying that they had cancer. We went to a couple of funerals of people that we would have known or he would have known. And, to us, we thought we're going to lose this person. And when I went to visit these people in Cenocolo, it was like life. It wasn't all these poor children that are going around like zombies. I saw life. I saw hope.
After the Cenocolo community helped to save her son, Jean decided to get involved in volunteer work with Cenocolo and help out in any way she could.
And everybody that works with Cenocolo are volunteers. Not one person is paid. We don't ask the government for money.
The centre in Knock, who does it cater for you?
Young men over 18, and we don't have a girls' house here in Ireland, unfortunately. We have a few girls' houses. We have 65 houses around the world, in Florida, in Spain, France, you name it. And unfortunately, we don't have a girls' house here. I would accompany the girls over to Italy, and I've often met them in train stations, homeless girls, and we'd work with them until they got ready, and we'd accompany them over to Italy, and we would stay with them for at least 4 to 5 days until they settle in, and if they're happy, we say goodbye and come back, keep an eye on them, keep in touch every week, see how they're doing. And it's just a little bit different to other centres. We don't have a lot of written work and written paper work, but it's done with the love.
Jean, have you any advice to parents out there who maybe have a child who's an addict and they're looking hell in the face at the moment?
Yeah, I'd probably say to them not to... you're in despair, and sometimes they try to nurture them, they hold on to them, they bring the drink in, they don't even accept money off them for their keep, and that's not a lesson for anybody in life. We all need to know that we need to pay something, and if they get, I don't know, it's 108, I could be wrong about that, and some depending on what age they are, I think it's good, even if it was only €50, €20, whatever, for them to take off them, and to know that this is for your keep. And they're watching TV until 2 and 3 in the morning. They're allowing them to take over their house, basically. And, it's your home. Try and remember that. You love
and
your children.
often other children are suffering. You were saying
Yeah.
that, that's an experience you're having now in dealing with parents.
Yeah, I when I'm interviewing a parent, that's one of the questions I ask is, do they give anything for their keep or whatever? And how are the other members of the family? How are they coping? Because our focus goes on one person and you tend to neglect the others. And that's very sad. And that they could have issues then after that as well. And so we have to be mindful of that. In a family, when we're trying to help a person that has addiction to get help, there's always a weak link in a family. And they're the ones that'll probably throw Johnny the €20 at you, he'll be grand, or God love him and all of this. What you're doing is you're giving them money for drugs. You're putting a nail in their coffin instead of giving them a number to go and get help.
Jean, you have a story now about a certain leaflet, no less, and a certain mother. Tell our listeners.
Right. I often tell people to leave leaflets in doctors' surgeries, chemists, where people go in to get their methadone, churches and bingo halls, whatever, And, you get a leaflet sometimes and you throw it in your drawer. You might throw it in the bin or even in the fire. But that leaflet could save one person's life. Like, for instance, there's this girl that she's actually in community at the moment. Her mother found a leaflet on the floor in a doctor's surgery.
This was a Cenocolo leaflet
Cenocolo
about
leaflet.
the community Cenocolo.
Yeah. Yes, and she picked it up and she was in despair about her daughter. And she picked up this leaflet off the floor and read it, and she couldn't believe her eyes. She was saying, my God, this is a place that might help my daughter. So she rang me, and her daughter's in community now about 2 years and really, really happy, thinking about going to the missions to help others. And she was a child that was very unwell, and thank God today I was only speaking to her on the phone the other day. I rang the house and had a great chat with her. She's in Italy now. She was in France for a while, and she's one of the happiest kids I know.
And to hear more heartwarming stories of recovery from addiction, then make sure to catch our next number 5 programme in this 5-part There Is Life After Addiction series. Until then, I'm going to leave the last word with Jean, talking about what she loves most about her volunteer work with Cenocolo.
Everybody that does any kind of voluntary work finds that you give a lot, but you also get a lot. And that's why, even if you're sitting at home, I could be at home some nights, I suppose, watching Coronation Street or whatever, nothing wrong with that. But I like being out there helping people and to know that you're going to save someone's life. And that's what it's about, is saving lives.
Funded by the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland with the television licence fee.